What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 30, and we start today's episode off with some player training as per usual, and also the board coming to us and saying we're not on track with our youth development objective, which is a medium priority. But I've mentioned this before, the off the pitch objectives, they're cool to have in the game to try and hit, but they don't really matter that much. So long as you're performing on the pitch, for the most part, you're going to be totally fine. So we might end up failing that objective come the end of the season. In fact, we probably will, but it's not going to be a big deal. I'm pretty confident we'll still be here next year so long as we achieve our league and cup objective. But also a brief look at our transfer shortlist as well. This does go by really quickly, so if you want to pause on one particular player or slow the video down, feel free to do so. Whilst there are a lot of names in this list, and whilst there are a lot of players that I'd love to bring to this club, it's highly unlikely we'll be signing any of them unless we sell some players, because of course we've got basically no money in our budget right now. Just a 1 million to perhaps 1.5 million maybe in our transfer budget right now. We spent most of it in the summer, so if we are going to sign someone on a permanent deal between now and the end of the window, we're going to have to sell some players. And we did get a couple of bids on the 5th of January here for two of our fullbacks. Ollie Shaw wanted by Marco Silva's Everton, and I was like, mate, he got 2 assists against you in the game a couple of weeks ago. I can see why you want him, but we want him way more than you do, man. This guy's 77 rated, only 18 years old. He's an absolute monster down that left-hand side. I blocked all offers, he's going nowhere. And also a big game for George Baldock as well, our backup right wing-back for Jayden Bogle. I think it was a Turkish side who wanted to take him, and I wasn't against letting him go. It was just undervaluation. He's 27 years old, 71 rated, but I like Baldock. Whenever he plays in place of Bogle for fitness reasons or form, whatever, he does a good job, Baldock. He's got good stamina, decent acceleration, and I like him as a backup right wing back. And also as well, as I mentioned before, I'm trying to do his career mode quite realistically as well. I did notice that Ollie Shaw, after the bid came from Everton there, is only on 450 quid a week. And I was like, well, it's not really realistic, is it? I totally forgot all about that. He's on basically no money whatsoever. He still gets the bus to training, and no, he can't even afford the bus. He runs to training, and I thought it's not worth it, man. So I'm going to give him a new contract, 5-year deal, 15 grand a week. Again, I didn't need to do that. He wasn't asking for a new contract or anything, but again, we're trying to do his career mode quite realistically. You know, having one of the best young left backs in the world on 450 quid a week, whilst he's tearing up the Premier League and striking fear into opposition right backs, just isn't right. So yeah, Shaw gets a new 5-year deal, 15 grand a week, and it's a bit more realistic, isn't it? But also a big game for Jack O'Connell as well, our centre-back, 27 years old now, O'Connell. Leon wanted to take him for £9 million. We could have got around 13 to 14 million for O'Connell, but I didn't want to sell him because what's more important to me than bringing new signings in is keeping the band together. You know, you notice that to start this season off, our team was very similar to last year. It still is now. We've not really changed it that much, and it's because I like the team we've currently got. And right now we're not in bad form either. We've won 4 even of our last 6 games, I believe. And in the Premier League as well, we've had 3 clean sheets in our last 4 as well. We might have lost our last league game to Liverpool, who right now are leading the league, but other than that, we've been in really good form, perhaps our best run of the season so far. I don't want to make major changes in January and risk us going back into bad form, whilst there's still a lot of football left to be played and we could still get dragged into a relegation dogfight. So first game on today's episode, taking on the high-flying Hammers, who right now are just outside the Champions League places and looking to stun the Premier League and finish in the top 4. But starting this game off, you can see why Ollie Shaw has been given that new 5-year deal. That is another assist for Ollie Shaw to Ollie McBurney, who gets his 4th goal in 3 games. McBurney right now is getting back to his best form, but really the credit goes to Ollie Shaw. Wins the ball back, storms up the pitch, stops on a dime, plays to McBurney, and Ollie finishes from close range. He couldn't really miss. So when McBurney came back from the ACL to start the season off, we knew it was going to take some time for our number 9 to get back to good form. Well, now he is back in form, and he's showing us what we were missing last year when he got that serious injury against Chelsea. 1-0 to Sheffield United, but again, it was Ollie Shaw, really, who in this game was just tearing things up. We almost went 2 goals up there, and we would have done so as well had it not been for a last-ditch challenge. West Ham had the possession in the first half, and in a few chances, we didn't create much, but when we were creating the chances, they were coming down that left-hand side like so often this season. And in the 69th minute, another great chance for us to go 2-0 up. Once again, it's McBurney played forward by Tony this time. Fabulous save with the goalkeeper though, as it's still 1-0. And whilst West Ham did have possession, they weren't really doing much with it. Our attacks were quite quick, weren't really controlling the tempo of the game. We were getting the ball forward into the area quite quickly though for more attempts on goal. Another good save by Lucas Fabianski as it was still 1-0. And West Ham, you know, I was really surprised in this game. You know, right now, just outside the top 4, I was thinking this would be a really tough game away from home. Last league game, losing by 3 goals at home to league leaders Liverpool. But really, we could have won this game by 2, 3, perhaps even 4 goals. How Norwood missed the target from there with the open goal, I've got no idea. And now we lost the game, lost the 3 points even right at the end here. I would have been absolutely livid. Felipe Anderson played 4, great save by Dean at his near post though, which preserves our clean sheet, our 4th in 5 games. How about that? Our defense has really picked up 4 clean sheets in 5 games and a deserved win for the Blades. We come to West Ham, we get the win, and man, the match does go to Ollie Shaw. I have to be honest here, man. This kid is 18 years old. Yes, we know about the problems with his acceleration. Very slow off the mark. When he gets going, he's quick. I got to be honest, man. This guy has got to be perhaps one of the best fullbacks / wingbacks I've used in FIFA career mode in a long time. He is just a complete package. Because don't forget, he's 6'3" as well. 6'3", high medium work rates, 3-star, 3-star, and he is just an absolute monster on both ends of the pitch. Defensively, he's as solid as a rock at just 18 years old, already capable of dealing with opposition right wingers, and when he gets going, goes forward, well, you've seen this season, it's 4 assists, I believe, for sure this season already. He has been absolutely superb, and a big reason as to why right now we're in some decent form. But still, following that, a big game for Luke Freeman, our number 8, who we don't see much of these days, and we negotiated a bid of £4 million from the Turkish side, Fenerbahce. So Luke looks as though he's off to Turkey, and he's a decent player, but again, he's got 1.5 years left in his deal, probably won't get a new one. He's 73 rated, so I'm okay letting him go. And also some interest here for Davy Proper, the Dutch midfielder right now playing for Brighton and Hove Albion, wanted by Cagliari on a free transfer, and he's 77 rated, medium high work rates, 4-star weak foot with high stamina, 87 as well. He and Dale Stevens are right now on my shortlist, both out of contract in the summer. Proper is 2 years younger, he's 2 ratings better, and we've got someone that can already do the Jack Cork role in, we've got someone that can do the Dale Stevens role even in Jack Cork, even though he's injured right now. So Proper was the one that I wanted, and I have to be honest here, out of all the targets on my shortlist, this is the guy I really wanted to pick up. It looks like Brighton aren't going to sign him to a contract extension. He's not actually played that much for Brighton this year. I checked the stats before I went in for this bid here, and he's been not always in their starting 11, or at least appearing in Premier League games. So I put in a bid for him on a pre-contract, 48 grand a week, so a 4 grand a week wage increase. I didn't think a wage decrease would be appropriate. 100 grand sign-on bonus, 3-year deal, and as you could see, Davy Proper said yes. So he's going to swap the South Coast for Bramall Lane. Proper is in for next season, a new signing for next season, and again, if we were going to sign players in this January window, it was going to be pre-contract. So Shaw extends his deal on a 5-year contract, Proper comes in on a 3-year deal for next year. We've got our cup draw for the round of 32 in the FA Cup, round 4. We'll be taking on Norwich City, the informed side of the Championship right now in the game, away at Carrow Road. So we just about saw off Cardiff at home in 3rd round. That's going to be a tough test there, away in East Anglia. And also you see there, Freeman has indeed been sold. He's put pen to paper. He's off to Turkey for £4 million. We'll see £2.7 million going to our transfer budget, so a little bit more money now added to our bank balance. We might be able to make one more signing before the transfer window slams shut. I'm not entirely sure it will happen, but our budget does now rise to around £3 to £3.5 million. So it's good to see the money is back in our budget after, of course, spending pretty much all of it in the summer transfer window. And again, for Freeman's sake, out of contract next season, I don't think he was going to get a new one. And to cash in on him now, get a bit of cash, and let him go for first team football, I think it was the right thing to do. Anyway, moving into our second and final game of today's episode, as we will take on Graham Potter's Brighton and Hove Albion here, back at Bramall Lane, as we were going in search of our 5th clean sheet in 6 Premier League games. And I'm going to repeat that as well, because you guys know how bad my defending's been since the start of this series. Our 5th clean sheet in 6 Premier League games. Unbelievable. Taking on Brighton here, who didn't even feature Davy Proper in their side. Of course, leaving on a free transfer to us next season. Graham Potter clearly saying, we don't need him, you can have him. And 4 minutes in, they were saying, we don't need him, you can have him, because they went 1-0 up. The away fans were singing it. 4 minutes in, Trossard with the header after a cross from the right-hand side gives Brighton Hove Albion a very early lead, and a chance of us getting our 5th clean sheet in 6 Premier League games was sadly all over inside the first 5 minutes. We did respond though half an hour later. Very quick passing here allowed McBurney to slide through Ivan Toney, and whilst McBurney has been amongst the goals of late, he turns provider for this one. This is why I really like McBurney as well, man. He's great with the ball at his feet, he's great in the air, he can score them himself and he can set them up too. Nice ball into Toney, back from his 2-month injury. That's now his 2nd goal in 3 games in all competitions. Sheffield United 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 1, back on level terms as we look to hopefully get ourselves in front in this game for the first time. But really, there were very few chances in this game. Both teams were enjoying a high pass accuracy, but not really doing much with the ball. But eventually, Brighton would break us down 25 minutes after the restart. Malen played forward here, the number 9, who puts it past Henderson in off the post, and that was how the game finished. Unfortunately, it's back-to-back defeats in the Premier League at Bramall Lane, and whilst we have been in good form of late, proof dead here at home in our last 3 games, not exactly convincing. A 3-0 defeat at home to Liverpool, then only just coming from behind to beat Cardiff City, the Championship side, in the FA Cup third round, and now a defeat to Brighton, who before the game were below us in the table as well. A little bit shaky in front of our home crowd, despite being right now 12 points clear of safety and in a good spell of form. It's still not as good as it possibly could be. But that was today's episode of Career Mode, guys. So big thank you for watching. Really hope you have enjoyed it, and if you did enjoy today's episode, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.